Well, good morning. It is now the, what is it, 28th of March? February? 28th of February. I'm getting old, can't remember things. It's kind of like a little video diary of my race up Mount Cheaha 50K, a little over 30 something miles, that I did Saturday, 2 days ago. Um, just kind of want to document what I felt like, what the race was like. So next year, if I decide to do it again, which at this point it's a no, we'll see. This whole thing started back 2020. I signed up for this race, um, thinking, "Hey, I'm a trail runner," and I was not. I was very ignorant at that point. Way overestimated my running capability and underestimated that trail, and it kicked my tail to the point where I had to come off of the trail at mile 18 after falling twice onto rocks and rolling my ankle because I was an idiot. So this year, hey, I'm smarter, right? At least hope so. Um, and I attacked it a little bit different. I trained a lot less, which is always a good thing. So I didn't train as like I wanted to. But and also I'm the heaviest I've ever been at 230. So had those things going against me, but I believe in faith and my Lord, and I said, and I got Him going for me. Um, Anyhow, I have my good buddy Caleb Kilpatrick running with me this year to help prod me along. So right out the gate, it's I'll send the videos. I got a video of it as well. This guy took a video, so it shows the start. It's a single track trail right out the gate. We all gaggled up there, and it gives you about 50 yards before you get to the single track for the fast people to get out in front. And then, the first time I did it, we got into the middle back of the pack, and it was crazy. It started right at the woods, and it was a bottleneck, and it was horrible. I did a lot of walking that first mile 2 years ago, and it seemed like I never recovered from it. But this year, um, I took off a little faster than I did the previous year, and I maintained that run for the first, I guess you would say, almost 2 miles before I started stopping and walking a little bit, let some folks pass that were building up behind us. Um, Skipped the first aid station because it was pretty much just a water station. Last time I ran that race, it was a wasted stop. I wasted 4 or 5 minutes of my life there for no apparent reason other than hey, it was an aid station. So I blew right through that aid station, didn't stop, and immediately you start a little bit of an uphill road. Um, so try to walk the uphills as best I can, um, run the flats and run the downhills. But eventually, when you get so far into the race, you get so tired you can't do that anymore, and you kind of break it up. Um, so got through that first aid station, just ran through it. Got to the next aid station, was mile 14, which during that stretch, the first time I went through was where I fell twice on some rocks. First time when I fell, I was running pretty fast, and my chest was the first thing to hit the ground. So I'll never forget that. And I must have knocked me silly because I couldn't remember exactly where it was this year. I was looking for that spot as I was running through there. Anywho, um, got to mile 14, which you got to kind of leave the peyote. You got to run off of it a little bit and hit the aid station and run back onto it. Met some friends of mine from Butts, which is the Birmingham Ultra Trail Society. Uh, her name's Melissa, so big shout out to Melissa. She took care of me. I walked in there and she's like, "Give me your bottles. What do you need?" And she was filling up stuff and helping me out. And really appreciate all the volunteers that come out for races like this. I've never done that. I think I'm going to do that here soon to give back a little bit. But they got me in and out, and I tried to keep all my aid station visits less than 2 minutes tops, and I achieved that all day long. Came back out, hit the trail again, saw some friends of ours that we had started with, Amy and Jason. And then Caleb and I kept on going. Made it to the next aid station, which was 18.4 or 18.8, I believe, 18.8 miles. They had some warm food there. I ate a case of, well, probably about a half a case of cheese quesadilla, shot of Coke. Cookies seemed to be what I was craving all day, so I was eating friggin' little cookies the whole time. So my electrolyte drink is a drink, a recovery and restoration drink from Wilderness Athlete, and the my other bottle was a bottle of water. So I was 20 ounces each. So I was sucking on both of those as I was going, because you want to intake two water to one of those things of electrolyte to keep the body in check. So my stomach got a little wonky. I was walking a lot trying to get my food down and not jostle it so much. So from mile 18 on, it's the longest leg of the race. It's 7 miles from that aid station to the next. And when I got to that aid station at 18:08, we were about 1 minute behind schedule. There are cutoff times at each aid station. And they told us the guy at the next aid station was kind of a butthole. And if you were 1 minute late, he was going to put you on the bus and kick you off the course for missing time. And I knew that if I was going to cut 7 miles, I had to do it at like 15-minute pace or quicker. And I just knew that that couldn't happen. I couldn't run that fast sustained. Not knowing that part of the course, I heard it was a lot of downhills, but it wasn't as many as I thought. So we took off and we were running. I was running hard as I could, walking as fast as I could. Caleb was encouraging. And then at I backed up. Yeah. At mile 16.8, I rolled my left ankle uber bad to the point where I hit the ground and rolled over and laid there for a minute and said a little prayer because I thought I'd really hurt myself. Ankle swelled up a little bit right now, but I did another 16 miles, so it must have been all right. So I took off running, and I was just running hard, and I was just checking the clock, and I was just like, we're not gonna make it. I told Caleb, we got 13 minutes to make 2 miles. And I said, it's not going to happen. So I was resolving in my mind that, I didn't make it again. I made it further than I did before, which is goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to complete the race. Goal number 3 is to complete the race injury-free. And the fourth goal was to try to beat the 9-hour point. I got all those except for one, thank God. But anyway, at that point I had resolved that, hey, this is not going to make it. It's not going to happen. I got to call my wife and kids and say, Daddy didn't meet the muster, didn't meet the standard again. So, but I said in my mind, you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm going to give it all I got until I get there and they tell me no. I'm going to make them tell me no. I'm not going to quit. Because in my mind, I was on that verge of quitting because I just knew I couldn't do it. And I said, well, heck with that. I said a little prayer, literally sat down on the ground, said a little prayer, retied my shoe, took off. And Caleb and I were just running, and we were prepared to just take the bib off and keep going afterwards, even if they told us to leave. And then I'm thinking, hey, I got a PT test here in 60 days. I probably should not push my ankle too far. So I said, if they call it, they call it, and I'll have to come back next year. So we're running. And then in the faint distance, I could hear people cheering. And there was a young lady in front of us, and it was a young lady we had passed. We had passed her 3 or 4 times, but she'd passed us back and forth, and then she kind of went off and left us when I was having my pity party at mile 23-ish. So anyway, I pepped up my step a little bit, so I took off running a little harder. And Caleb and I started talking before we got there. I was like, they surely wouldn't be cheering us on if they're kicking us off the course for not making the time, because at this point we were like 7 or 8 minutes behind schedule. So we pull up on this aid station, everybody's cheering. There's 2 guys sitting there, and I'm figuring those are one of the 2 guys that's kicking people off the course. So Caleb's talking to him, I'm talking to him, saying, thanks, man, appreciate you. Trying to butter this dude up. And he just glad-handed us, sent us on. And then lo and behold, Melissa from the butt station at mile 14, she was at this aid station. I don't know what she was doing, stalking us. But anyway, I was so happy to see her. And she goes, give me your stuff. She took my stuff, filled my junk up, and goes, get out of here. And I was like, holy crap. They didn't kick us off the course. We were over 9, almost 7 or 8 minutes late at least. I said, they didn't kick us off the course. Caleb goes, oh, we're finishing this thing. And I'm like, dang, Skippy, we're finishing this thing. So in a matter of like 60 seconds, I was in and out of that aid station. I mean, it couldn't have been a minute. I think I spent a total of about 7 minutes in all the aid stations, which was pretty good. I looked at Caleb and I was like, holy crap, dude. And it's just long road. You could see forever. It seemed like it was about a mile or more long, dirt road. So I'm trying to eat, and then I started thinking, and Caleb said, hey, man, we can eat later. If we got something flat, we probably need to run it. And I'm like, you're right. So I threw my food in my pack, and we took off running. And that's when I realized that that ain't so true. I don't know. I didn't run a quarter of a mile, and I said, bro, this is it. I can't even run a quarter of a mile. I got to stop and eat. So had to get my nutrition right. At the end, it kind of goes up a hill and turns back onto a road. And then you're running paved road from then on till you get back to when you get back to Blue Hell, which I'll talk about in a minute. So we kept going. And we caught up with this guy at the aid station. His name was Brian, and there was another lady. I never caught her name. She had caught back up to us. So it was kind of the four of us running that last piece. And then the lady, she took off and left us. And then Brian was just a few steps out in front of us most of the time until we got over Blue Hell. And then they left us at Blue Hell. I didn't see them again until we got closer to it. But so we get past the next aid station, which was pretty quick in and out. And then we find Blue Hell, which I had never experienced before. And I know why they call it Blue Hell. I believe my stats were showing it was 19% grade, straight up the hill, up rocks, 4-point climbing some of it. So I took off and went up that hill as fast as I could. Caleb's looking back at me, asking me if I'm dying or not. My heart's racing. I can't get my heart to quit beating so hard. Breathing's fine. My breath was fine. Just my heart was just coming out my chest. So it took me like 38 minutes to get up that stinking hill. And then we had to walk some steep paved roads, and we got back on a single track trail and finished off that last 2 miles and came into the aid station at 9 hours and 29 minutes, which I was pretty happy with. So overall, achieved all my goals, relatively injury free, finished the course, didn't finish it under 9 hours. So that's something if I want to do later on, I can. But it was a great experience. Got time to spend time with buddy Caleb. And always a great time to spend time with the Lord out in the nature. So that's kind of my race report. Kind of we were chasing that clock the whole way and was real happy to get it all done. Anyway, so the 50-mile Lake Martin race I am not going to do just because of my PT test. I'm not sure my ankle's healed up, but I am seriously considering going out there and working an aid station. So Lake Martin, I really am considering going out working at aid station. Got a call that came in and my video stopped, so hopefully that wasn't too choppy. Anyway, that was my race. Got my shirt on. It's a pretty coarse swag I got. They gave me a nice beanie. It's pretty warm. And then I put my race bib on the wall of fame there. And then there's my medal for finishing the race. And they actually wrote on the back of it my place. I finished 144th out of like 150-ish people. There might have been like 149 people, something like that, total. And there's the date. And then there's the rest of my junk. My 100-mile buckle and other bibs. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little video diary of what went on. And hopefully that kind of explains it. Theodore Roosevelt wrote that poem talking about those who dared and fail are better than those who never even tried and never knew or tasted victory nor defeat. And what a sad life that is for folks to do that. So as I reflect back on this, pushing myself, pushing this body the Lord gave me to do great things, I think in my mind. People might not think it's great, but it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. This whole trail running community is an encouraging group of folks. Every time I saw folks, they were saying, great work, good job, keep going. And we were doing the same as people were passing us, keeping encouraging them. Because ultimately, in the end, it's all about you. Are you getting better? Are you overcoming your goals and your obstacles and trying to achieve your dreams? Or are you just sitting by letting life happen? Surely I'm not going to sit by and let life happen. I'm going to get after it. So, anywho, that's kind of this race. The next real race that's coming up is a little 10K, and I think it's in May. Or like end of April for the Southeastern Trail Series, which starts up then. That's the first race, and then it goes through the Memorial Day 6 and 12 miler, then Hotter Than Hell 8 and 18 miler, then Ridge to Blazing Ridge 10 and a half and 21 miler, into the 48-hour endless mile, which is the biggest race of the year for me, which I'll be shooting for 100 miles in 24 hours or less. We'll see if that happens. Then the Blood Rock 25K, 50K, 50 mile or 100 miler, which is the December UTA, which I probably won't ever be at. And then roll back around to Mount Cheaha, and we'll see. Anyway, take care. Adios.